HOA called 911 to size my blind son's guide dog. They had no idea I'm a federal judge. Imagine waking up to a call that your child's guide dog is being seized by authorities due to a neighbor's complaint. How would you react? The thought alone sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? But for me, this wasn't just a hypothetical scenario. It was my reality. This is a story of how a seemingly ordinary day turned into a fight for justice when my blind son's guide dog was threatened by our HOA. It's a story that exposes the darker side of community living, where petty complaints can escalate into full-blown legal battles. As a federal judge, I've seen my fair share of injustices, but nothing could have prepared me for the day my own family became the target of harassment. Our neighborhood, once a place of comfort and familiarity, became a battleground where my son's independence was constantly challenged. But it all started with a series of threats and notices from our neighbor Karen. She had been monitoring my son's activities, claiming his guide dog was not certified and belonged on the street. The irony was stark. Here was a woman who had made it her mission to police every move my son made, yet she had no idea who she was dealing with. Little did Karen know, she was about to face off against a federal judge who would stop at nothing to protect his family. But before we get to that part of the story, let's set the stage. This documentary explores the challenges faced by individuals with disabilities and the importance of standing up against injustice. Before we continue, tell us where you're watching from in the comment section, and don't forget to like, comment, and hit the subscribe button for more gripping stories. What would you do if someone threatened your child's independence? Would you stand up and fight, or would you back down? The choice is never easy, but for me, there was no question. I was ready to take on the system to ensure my son's rights were protected. But little did I know, this was just the beginning of a long and arduous journey, a journey that would test my resolve, challenge my patience, and ultimately change our lives forever. Stay tuned to find out what happened next. As a federal judge, I've spent my career upholding the law and ensuring justice is served. But this story isn't about my courtroom battles. It's about a personal fight for justice that began in my own neighborhood. Our neighborhood is like many others' familiar faces, friendly waves, and a sense of community. However, beneath the surface, not everyone understands or appreciates the challenges faced by individuals with disabilities. My son, who is blind, has always been a beacon of resilience and determination. His guide dog is more than just a pet, it's his lifeline, providing him with independence and confidence. My son's journey with blindness has been remarkable. Despite the obstacles he faces, he has never let his disability define him. His guide dog has been instrumental in helping him navigate the world safely and independently. But not everyone in our neighborhood shares this understanding. Enter Karen, our neighbor who has made it her mission to monitor my son's every move. She claims his guide dog is not certified and belongs on the street. Her complaints are relentless, and her threats have become a constant source of stress for our family. She sends us notices, warning us that she will take action if the dog is not removed. It's a battle we never expected to fight, but one we are determined to win. As a parent, there's nothing more important than protecting your child, but how far would you go to shield them from harassment? Would you stand up to your neighbors, challenge the system, or seek legal recourse? For me, there was no question. I was ready to do whatever it took to ensure my son's rights were respected. How far would you go to protect your child from harassment? Would you fight back, or would you try to find a peaceful resolution? The choice isn't always easy, but for me, it was clear. I would stop at nothing to protect my son's independence and well-being. But little did I know, this was just the beginning of a long and challenging journey. A journey that would test my resolve, challenge my patience, and ultimately change our lives forever. Stay tuned to find out what happened next. The day the police arrived at our doorstep was a day that will forever be etched in my memory. Karen had called 911, claiming that my son's guide dog lacked certification and needed to be seized. The scene was chaotic as the officers attempted to take the dog away from my son. He was insistent, refusing to let go of his lifeline, but Karen was relentless. In a shocking display of aggression, she pushed him, causing him to fall to the floor. My son was crying, scared and confused, as the situation spiraled out of control. It was at that moment that a caring neighbor intervened, pulling out her phone to call me. She knew something was terribly wrong and wanted to get me to the scene as quickly as possible. I rushed to our home, my heart racing with every step. As I arrived, I could see the distress on my son's face and the determination in Karen's eyes. That's when I decided to take a stand. I pulled out my badge, revealing my identity as a federal judge. The officers were taken aback, unsure of how to proceed. Karen, however, was shocked. She had no idea who she was dealing with, and her demeanor changed instantly. The situation escalated quickly, transforming from a simple complaint into a full-blown legal battle. Karen realized too late that she had picked a fight with the wrong person. As a federal judge, I was not only a parent but also a guardian of the law. I was determined to ensure that my son's rights were protected and that justice was served. What would you do if someone used their power to intimidate you? Would you stand up for yourself, seek legal recourse, or try to find a peaceful resolution? For me, there was no question. I was ready to use my position to defend my family and uphold the law. But little did I know, this was just the beginning of a long and arduous legal battle. A battle that would test my resolve, challenge my patience, and ultimately change our lives forever. Stay tuned to find out what happened next. The aftermath of that fateful day was intense. The legal battle that ensued was not just about winning a case, it was about setting a precedent for disability rights. As a federal judge, I knew the law was on our side, but the emotional toll on my son was significant. He had faced harassment and intimidation, and it took time for him to regain his confidence. The case highlighted the importance of standing up against injustice, especially when it involves individuals with disabilities. It showed how community actions can either empower or marginalize people depending on the choices we make. The Fair Housing Act and the Americans with Disabilities Act are in place to protect individuals like my son, but it's up to us to ensure these laws are enforced. Reflecting on this experience, I realized that justice is not just about winning cases. It's about creating a society where everyone feels valued and included. Disability rights are human rights, and it's our responsibility to advocate for them. The impact of community actions can be profound. When we support and empower individuals with disabilities, we strengthen our communities and foster a culture of inclusivity. In conclusion, this story is not just about my family's fight for justice. It's about the broader struggle for equality and inclusion. It reminds us that standing up against injustice is crucial, not just for ourselves, but for creating a better world for everyone. The key points from our story are clear: the importance of understanding and respecting disability rights, the need for community support, and the power of advocacy in bringing about change. How can we create a more inclusive and supportive community for everyone? What steps can you take today to make a difference in someone's life? Whether it's advocating for disability rights, volunteering, or simply being a supportive neighbor, every action counts. Let's work together to build a world where everyone can live with dignity and respect. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories of resilience and justice. As we conclude this story, I want to leave you with a call to action. Let's stand together to support disability rights and fight against injustice. Every voice matters, and every action counts. Whether it's advocating for policy changes, volunteering with organizations that support individuals with disabilities, or simply being a supportive neighbor, you can make a difference. My journey as a federal judge has taught me many lessons, but none as profound as the importance of empathy. When we put ourselves in others' shoes, we begin to understand their struggles and their triumphs. Empathy is the foundation upon which we build inclusive communities. It's what drives us to stand up for those who are marginalized and to fight for justice. Reflecting on this experience, I am reminded that justice is not just about laws and courts, it's about people and their stories. It's about creating a world where everyone can live with dignity and respect. My son's journey has been a testament to resilience and courage, and I hope it inspires you to be part of this movement. As we close this chapter, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey. Remember, the power to create change is in your hands. Let's use our voices to uplift each other and to build a world that is more just, more compassionate, and more inclusive for everyone. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.